State, are you ready? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Hey, Mr. McLean, you're outside? Gotta do it wherever you can get it in, I know. Let's see, volume.
Who we started with? What number?
Okay.
We
The
gonna
weather.
position number 2, Mr. Barber.
Okay. I'm gonna start with him first. Are you by yourself, ASG Riser? No, I see a few others. Okay. You're muted.
Sorry, Judge. No, we have ASG Brandon Thomas as well.
Okay. All right, well, we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. And this is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been offered at this juncture. I'm going to let you know that the SAP reset date is February the 15th. It'll be February the 15th. I want to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. The defendants, you have a right to have representation by an attorney at this point. You should know who your attorney is by now, and you also have the constitutional right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts and circumstances and the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you, so listen to your attorneys. All right, first we have position 2, Curtis Barber. All right, this is 24 CR 000598, represented by
Derek Wright.
all right, Mr. Wright. This is one count of terroristic threats. Pre-trial, what do you have?
12 total, 2021, simple assault, simple battery obstruction.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond for the defendant to begin the Family Violence Intervention Program, to have no contact with Sharika Florence, first name SHEREKA, last name FLORENCE, a stay away from 100 Obsidian, OBSIDIAN Way. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is based on the factual basis. On February 1st, 2024, officers were dispatched to the incident location for a dispute. The victim advised officers that the defendant came to her residence when he was not allowed to be there. During the course of the officers' investigation, while they were speaking with the victim, they heard the defendant state that he would shoot the victim in the face. There is an active no contact order in place from the information we were able to gather from the victim, Your Honor. So based on that, we'd recommend a $3,000 surety.
All right. And Attorney Wright.
Your Honor, my client is 39 years of age. He is unfortunately losing his sight. He's not yet been determined to be legally blind, but diabetes is taking its toll on him. He now requires 4 insulin shots a day, along with a host of medications for gastrointestinal and other diabetic things that he is suffering, because this is a severe case for him. He's actually been vomiting and sick even while being in here from this most recent arrest. Your Honor, he is on a dozen different medications, which also I think would serve to be a severe burden on the jail to make sure he's getting everything. I have actually been hired and was asked to be here by Ms. Sharika Barber. This is a situation where the officers claimed that they heard him say something. She indicated she had never actually heard him say anything. So the threat did not make it to her. I understand this is just the first appearance. I'm not arguing guilt or innocence at this juncture, but just whether or not the court would consider a signature bond as opposed to any sort of cash bond, just because of the hardship that it would put on him. I wasn't aware of the stay away order because the address given to me by Ms. Barber was that if released, he could stay at 100 Obsidian Way, Atlanta, Georgia 30349, where he, as well as his mom that he helps care for, had been residing at. So I don't know if her plan would be to either her vacate or him necessarily be there, but apparently this is a situation where this family has still been operating as a family. And then, of course, when they got into this dispute, the officers interjected sort of as they thought they heard something. They caused them to exercise caution and make this arrest. So I would ask if he could be released on a signature bond and be at that address. I'm not sure where the stay away order came from, if that's was a domestic order or for some other situation, but I wasn't aware of an actual order in place. He's born and raised here, 3 kids, all grown. Everything about him, he's not a flight risk. He's not a danger of trying to effectuate or influence witnesses. He's not a danger to the community. So I would ask that you grant bond and can strongly consider maybe a signature bond that would allow him to get out under whatever restrictions the court wants to impose to make sure that we don't have a repeat of any dispute that brings the parties here.
All right. ASG Riser, do you have any other information on the act of no contact?
I don't at this time, Your Honor. I believe that was on the basis of the warrant. The only other information I have in regards to an argument for bond would be his 12 cycles of criminal history. I know pretrial gave you the 2021 arrest for simple assault, simple battery, and willful obstruction. I'm also showing a 2020 possession of cocaine, possession of firearm during the commission, and purchase of marijuana, and a 2017 marijuana under an ounce, possession of a firearm during the commission. That was an all-prost.
So, Attorney Wright, is this, I wrote down Sharika Florence, Sharika Barber. Those are the same persons, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Florence is her maiden name.
And from what you understand, she lives in the home with Mr. Barber and his mother?
Yes, Your Honor. And again, she was here when police arrived. She said she was actually walking away from when they were talking to him. And apparently, even based on what I heard about the warrant, it sounds like this was a conversation he was having with the officers. My client protests he didn't say it, but even if he did for the purpose of our first appearance, it was outside the presence of Miss Barber, and she has no fear. Because of his medical conditions, she is really hoping to be able to get him out, get him back situated so he can make sure he's getting all his shots and everything he needs.
ASG Riser, have you all spoken to the victim?
We have attempted to make contact, Judge. It's my understanding we have not been able to get in contact with her this morning.
I sympathize with his medical condition, and I do understand that. Pre-trial, you have no information about any bond orders or anything on this
Nope.
criminal? No?
And yes,
Oh.
Your Honor, just in the paragraph of the warrant, it appears, the victim advised that a court order that they should not be around each other, but I don't have any other information at this time.
That's what the victim told the officer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Maybe he's in another county or something, I don't know. Well, I have competing,
Yeah.
interests here.
If,
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes
if I
it's
had my,
kind of hard to
I had my-
decide.
if I had my phone, Judge, I could try to get her on the phone, but I couldn't bring it into jail. But she's been in constant communication with me all the way into making sure I was here.
Is there any way you could, put her number in the chat to see if the state could give her a call? I'd really like to get her on if I could.
Do you know her number off the top of your head? Okay, go ahead, and if you could give her a number. I think I called on the one ends in 1700.
Okay.
Just send it to the state.
Yes. Well, do you see, Jordan Reiser in there?
I sure do.
Yeah, send it to her.
Okay, what is it? 678. Is that it?
I was gonna hold for a second so
Um,
we won't have to play too much musical chairs, but,
Yes. I'm gonna, while I do, if we want to hold on this, jump to another position.
Okay.
I will send it to Ms. Maldonado, who's our victim advocate. She will reach out, and see if she's available to jump on Zoom.
okay. All right. Put on Attorney Wright. Let's do that.
Sure will, Judge.
Okay. I feel much better if we can talk to her.
We're gonna do number position 1.
Okay. This is 24 CR 0000597. It looks like Islian Applewhite, charged with 1 count of battery, pretrial.
I got first arrest.
Okay.
Okay,
And
I was getting ready to say, where someone's not in the chair, but I'm used to. All right, so PD Cook.
yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation as it relates to Ms. Applewhite would be a $1,500 surety bond, an anger awareness class, no contact with Annette Parks, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, on February 2nd, officers responded to the intersection of Atlanta Avenue and Hank Aaron Drive for a physical altercation. They spoke with the victim, Ms. Parks, who stated that the defendant had engaged, that her and the defendant had engaged in mutual combat the previous day. And following that, the defendant hit her in the back with a pair of hedge clippers. The officers were able to see visible bruising on her neck. And there were some traffic cameras that saw a bit of the incident. In regards to her history, I'm actually showing 11 cycles. Most recently, a 2021 arrest for battery, family violence, and ag assault.
Out of Georgia.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. PD Cook.
Thank you, Your Honor. She is 67 years old, Your Honor. She's been in Georgia all of her life. She has no issues whatsoever with no contact with Ms. Parks. It is my understanding, of course, she denies these allegations, except for the fact that she asserts she was acting in self-defense, Your Honor. It's my understanding that Ms. Parks hit her first. Nevertheless, we're not here necessarily about the basis or the facts of the underlying case. It's my understanding, even if she has a criminal history, which we didn't have access to, she doesn't have any failure to appear, to my knowledge. She is residentially challenged, but I do have she did provide an address on Hank Aaron Drive. We are asking the court to give her a signature bond. She's otherwise unable to make any sort of surety bond. Nothing further.
All right. I'm going to order a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Annette Park. I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns while on bond. And that's all I'll order at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Which position?
Position number 3, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. All right, 24 CR 000599. Is that Tanaka? I'm not for sure, and I apologize for mispronouncing your last name. I'm sure it's Chipuri Chitoyo, charge of 1 count of battery family violence.
Third arrest, 2019 DUI, 2015 shoplifting not prosecuted.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial for the defendant to begin the Family Violence Intervention Program, have no contact with Shauna Williams, and a stay away from 80900 Adair Lane, Unit 5907, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Your Honor, in this case on February 2nd, the defendant is alleged to have grabbed the victim and causing her to scrape her cheeks, ear, and the side of her neck. It's my understanding that the parties are dating and have lived together for the past 8 months. And so we feel a signature bond through pretrial, given the limited history, is appropriate in this situation, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor, I have no objection at all to the signature bond. However, I believe she is the victim, maybe on the Zoom. I've spoken with her. I provided her with the Zoom information.
Oh, I did see a Shauna W. I just saw that now. Is that Shauna Williams? Are you on Zoom, Shauna Williams? All right, we'll keep going.
All right, Your Honor. My understanding of the incident address is that that's where it's his mom's. She just tapped in the chat. She is here. It's his mom's. Her name is on the lease, and my client lives there. I actually believe that Ms. Williams is residentially challenged and may have stayed there occasionally. So we would be asking that there not be a stay away from the incident location, since that's his primary address and not her primary address. And I believe she could attest to that. It's also my understanding that she does not want the no contact provision, which is why I asked her to be present on the Zoom. So if Ms. Williams, if you can maybe unmute yourself and turn your camera on so I can swear you in and ask you a couple questions.
Ms. Williams? You know how to work the Zoom features. Can you unmute yourself and speak? If not, I'm not going to allow you to speak. I can't see you. I obviously can't hear you. And I'm not going to hold up the calendar by waiting too much longer for you to speak to the court. That you all hadn't spoken to the witness to find out if she lives there or not.
Your Honor, we attempted contact this morning, and we have not been able to get in contact with her.
She said she's trying to unmute. You may have to sign out, come back in, make sure you come in with audio and video when you sign back on. If I see Ms. Barber is here, we can go back to that case. Or I can go ahead and give a bond, but I would want Tim to stay away until I find out what's going on there.
My concern with Your Honor issuing the stay away from incident location is I don't believe he has anywhere else to stay. I just believe it's just him and his mom. And he doesn't have an alternate address to stay at.
Well, sometimes I allow the, police to escort him back to make sure she's not there. And if she's not there and doesn't have any belongings there, he can stay. But if she is, he'll have to find somewhere else. I can order that. But I really
To
wish.
not prolong the court, Your Honor, I guess we could do that. And if she is able to rejoin, maybe we can modify it later.
Before we, okay, let's do that. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond. And I was going to do that through pretrial level 1. I will allow him to call in. And right now, it'll be no further violent contact with Miss Williams. I'm going to order, when you're released, sir, that you arrange a police escort before going back to that property so that the police can sweep that property to ensure that Miss Williams does not reside there, doesn't have any belongings there. If that is the case, then you can stay there with your mom. If not, you cannot stay there if she's still around and has items there as if she lives there. We may change it a little if she comes back on or is able to give us additional information. But you will have a signature bond through pre-trial.
Okay, so it is pre-trial.
Yes. Level 1, and I'll allow him to call in. And also, I'm going to order him to take the 1-day anger awareness course. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And we'll see if she comes back in.
Thank you.
And
Your
now, thank you. I see Ms. Barber's here. Can we go back to position 2? Mr. Wright and Mr. Barber.
They haven't yet.
Okay. Ms. Barber,
Yes, ma'am.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand for me, please, so I can swear you in. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you put your hand down. And again, state your name for the record.
Sharika Barber.
Okay. And Florence is your maiden name?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you reside with the defendant in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's on, is it 100 Obsidian Way?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and do you intend to continue residing there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and who else resides there with you?
Our 13-year-old daughter.
You have a daughter together?
No, he's just been in her life since she was a baby.
Okay, so your daughter and his, okay,
Yeah, he's basically the only father that she knows.
okay. Are you in fear of Mr. Barber?
No, I'm not.
Okay. And you
I
want to
weigh
continue,
350 pounds. I'm definitely not in fear of him.
and you want to continue residing with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is it my understanding, is there, oh, this is not the one with the mother, I'm getting it mixed up.
No, Judge, I think I did mention he does help care for his mom.
Oh, okay, this was it. And his
Yes,
mom
my
resides there too?
mother-in-law, yes, she's ill.
And I understand Mr. Barber is ill.
Yes, he definitely is,
Okay, and you assist to take care of him as well?
as well as his mother.
Okay, as well as his mother. Okay, well, I will, based on that, if you have no fear, want to make sure that you're going to be safe then I will give him a signature bond. So any cross-examination questions?
No,
Um,
ma'am, and thank you.
Anything about,
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
all right. I'm going to, order a $3,000 signature bond. I'm gonna order that signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no further violent contact with the victim, Miss Barber. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that's all I'll order at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Judge, that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Mhm.
Judge, would you like to go back to position number 3? I see the young lady has logged on.
Oh, yes, thank you. All right, Miss Williams.
Yes.
Greg, good afternoon. Can you raise your hand for me so I can swear you in? You affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, put your hand down for me. And where do you reside?
As the woman told you, sometimes with the defendant, but I'm temporarily misplaced. That was correct information.
All right. If the defendant were allowed a bond to get out of jail, I need to make sure that you're going to be safe and obviously that we don't have any future incidents. And so that was the question. Is it Adira Lane that defendant's mother and the defendant reside there? And would you be
Yes, that
residing?
is correct.
Okay, would you be residing there?
No.
Okay. And so do you want to have any contact with the defendant?
Sure.
Are you in fear of the defendant?
No.
Do you all have any children together?
No.
All right, any cross-examination by the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination by PD Cook?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to allow the defendant to go back to that residence. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. He's got to take the one-day anger awareness course. He is to have no further violent contact with you, Miss Williams, no further violent contact. And no drugs, alcohol, guns, or weapons while on bond. And I think that is it. Did I miss anything? All right.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Miss Williams, for getting back on. All right. Have a good one.
Position number 4.
All right. 24 CR 000-600 John DeBose, charged at 1 count of battery and a 2nd count of simple battery against a police officer or corrections or detention officer. Pre-trial.
27 total. Last arrest was last month. Shoplifting, obstruction, interference with government property. 2023 reckless conduct, battery, shoplifting, trespass. Those are different arrests in 2023. 2022 got a trespass conviction, shoplifting conviction. 2018 interference with government property, terroristic threats, trespass. Also another trespass, disorderly conduct conviction, and a few probation violations from 2018. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation for bond would be $2,500 surety on each count for a total of $5,000 surety to have no contact with the victim, Arthur Clems, CLEMS. Stay away from 1660 Jonesboro Road, which is the Little Bear Food Mart, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. On February 2nd, officers were dispatched to that incident location. They spoke with the victim, who stated that him and the defendant were involved in a verbal dispute earlier in the day. Later on in that day, the defendant saw the victim and hit him with a metal pole. Officers did observe lacerations on the victim's face, and the victim was transported to Grady. There was video footage that did support the victim's testimony. When the defendant was being placed into the police vehicle, he refused verbal commands and he spit on one of the officers. In addition to his convictions and recent arrest, as pretrial said, I'm showing 3 probation revocations and 1 FTA from 2017. Nothing further from this time from the state.
Judy Cook.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. DuBois is 42 years old, Your Honor. It's my understanding he's been in Georgia since 1994. He lives by himself. It's my understanding he does not know, was not familiar with the complaining witness. Also my understanding that he's self-employed and that he does odd jobs and makes about $100 a week maximum. Therefore, any amount of bond, any cash required amount of bond would be the equivalent of a no bond for him, Your Honor. I did hear a pretrial say that he has 27 total cycles. I only heard one mention of an FTA, and that was in 2017. So he does have a history of actually showing up to court. We would be asking the court to give him a signature bond through pretrial.
All right, I am going to order a $4,000 surety bond, $2,000 on each charge. And with that surety bond, to stay away from the Little Bear Food Mart, Jonesboro Road. No further contact with the victim, Arthur Clems. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I think that's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 5.
This is Christopher Gaines, 24 CR 0000601, charged with 1 count of battery, pretrial.
38 total, 2023 burglary, criminal damage to property, 2020 probation, and he got a bunch of driving stuff in the system. That's all.
All right, State.
Yes, Judge, the state's recommended sentence on charge of battery would be a $5,000 surety bond, an anger awareness class, no contact with Tiffany Smith, a stay away from 2029 Sander Lake Drive, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Officers were dispatched to that incident location and met with the victim, who informed them that the defendant took her phone, hid it, refused to return the phone to her, that the defendant threw her to the ground, pulled her hair, grabbed her face, causing visible scratches to her face and chin. It was reported by our victim that they do have a history of DV and 911 calls to this residence. We did have a chance to speak with the victim, and she said that she is in fear and does not want contact with the defendant, and the parties do not have children together and do not reside together. I'm showing at least 2 FTAs from 2022 on his history and a probation revocation in 2022, in addition to his other 38 cycles, Your Honor.
Okay. Judy Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gaines is 43 years old. He's a business owner. He owns a upholstery business. Been doing that for about the last 3 to 4 years. it's my understanding, Your Honor, that he is the one who actually called the police in this particular incident, in an attempt to get, Miss Smith removed from, his address. He definitely denies all the allegations against him. He's been in Georgia all his life. Highest level of education completed is 11th grade. He is definitely okay with the no contact. He actually wants her to stop bothering him. And it's my understanding that previously she attempted to put sugar in his tank and done other things. The incident location is not where she resides, so we would object to or be opposed to a stay away from the incident location. That is Mr. Gaines' address, and she does not live there. We would be asking the court for a signature bond on this case. Again, he denies the allegations against him, and he's the one from my understanding, who actually called the police. I believe it's my understanding they both were arrested or at least detained until she mentioned that there may have been a scratch, and that's when they took him. So that is our understanding of, or his version of what occurred, Your Honor.
And Judge, if I could please just clarify my request for a stay away. I was just looking at my updated notes. So the stay away that the state will be requesting is from her residence, which is 5964 Brookside Drive. And the victim is also requesting a stay away from her work place, which is 1980 Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. And the reason for that request, Your Honor, in speaking with the victim, it appears that they had broken up officially in December of 2023, and the victim has relayed that the defendant has been continuing to try to reach out to her, maybe engage in a pattern of stalking. So I just wanted to confirm that for the record, those two requests.
All right.
Again, Your Honor, from my understanding, he has no issues at all with staying away from her. He wants no contact, nothing to do with her, so that's not an issue.
And ASG Riser, did he have any FTAs?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm showing two FTAs both from 2022.
I think they were dismissed. That's why I didn't mention it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh. Okay. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Tiffany Smith. I'm going to order a stay away from the Brookside Drive, her home, stay away from her job on Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. I believe our orders all state that he would stay 200 yards away from her, which is 2 football fields. Mr. Gaines did not to go anywhere near her job, not to have any contact with her through third parties, cell phone, email, or any other third persons or any of her relatives. And I trust that you're going to do that. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that'll be it for now.
Position number 8, Jones.
This is 24 CR 00604 Alexander Jones. Charge at 1 count of failure to maintain insurance. 2nd count expired registration. 3rd count display of license plate. And 4th count willful obstruction of the law enforcement officer. Pre-trial.
I got second arrest. First arrest being last month for failure to appear.
Dave?
Sorry, Your Honor, I was muted. The state's recommendation for bond would just be a signature bond through pretrial. With this one, I don't have a whole lot of information other than just the citations that we received from the jail showing the charges. So I think in this case, signature bond is appropriate, just with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. Okay, PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, we're in agreement with the signature bond on this case, and I do just want to put on the record, I believe that failure to appear from was for a previous speeding ticket that he had no knowledge of, and it's now been resolved. So,
All right. On the failure to maintain insurance, that will be $1,000 signature bond, expired registration, 500, display of license tag, 250, license plate rather, 250, and willful obstruction, 1,000. So that is let's make expired registration 250 as well. So that's one. So that'll be a $3,000 surety bond. I'm sorry, 2,500. Check my math. 2,500. 1,000 on the first, 250, 250, and 1,000. So 2,500 signature bond through the jail. And with that signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that will be it.
Next is position number 6, Bill.
This is 24 CR 0000602, Lyndon Hill, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
Fourth arrest, 2023 DUI, sale of marijuana, and 07 ordinance. That's what I got.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor. The state's recommendation for bond would be a signature bond through pretrial for the defendant to begin the FBIP program, to complete an alcohol drug evaluation and have no further violent contact with Hillary Hill, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. On January 31st, officers responded to 3755 Red Wine Road, where the parties both reside. They met with a victim who explained that the defendant, her husband, struck her in the face after coming home intoxicated. We did have contact with the victim, Your Honor, this morning. She has indicated that she is not in fear of the defendant, that they do reside together. There is no history of DV, and she thinks that this incident was related to the alcohol consumption. She does want contact and does want him to return to the residence.
All right. PD Cook.
yes, Your Honor, we're obviously not opposed to a signature bond. I would object to the FBIP and alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment. He does deny these allegations at the present time. He is 39 years old, been in Georgia since January of 2023. Works at the airport in the security department, I believe. And that's it, nothing further.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to order the 1-day anger awareness course. I'm going to order, and did the state request no further violent contact with the victim?
Yes, Your Honor, based on the communications with the victim this morning.
Okay, no further violent contact with Hillary Hill. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. All right, and that
Thank
should
you,
be
Your
it.
Honor.
Position 7, Jackson.
It's 24 CR 0000603 Corey Jackson. Charge of 1 count of battery, family violence, 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property, 1 count of cruelty to children in the third. Retrial.
This 10th arrest, 2016 battery DV, 2013 probation, 2012 probation and fade to appear.
All right, okay.
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommended for bond for 1 count of battery, family violence would be a $2,000 surety. For the criminal trespass and damage, a $1,000 surety, and cruelty to children in the third, a $2,000 surety, so that'd be $5,000 total. I have no contact with the victim in this case, Yanira, Yanira, Ghani, Ghani. And the minor child, the initials are SG, and a stay away from 115 Rumson Road Northeast, unit number 19, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. On January 15th, 2024, officers were dispatched to the incident location, met with the victim, who advised that she was consistently asking the defendant to leave the home. The defendant then snatched her phone, threw it against the wall, creating a hole in the wall, and then struck her in the head, leaving a visible red bruise on her forehead. The party's 3-year-old daughter, SG, was on the side of the bed less than 10 feet away when the incident occurred. And so we would ask for this $5,000 surety bond given the facts, and also the history as recited by pretrial. He does have a prior DV arrest from 2016. I'm also showing one from 2014, a battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the third, and a criminal trespass. 2 probation revocations as well. So we would ask for that signature, or excuse me, that surety bond, Your Honor.
All right, PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson is 33 years old. He has been employed for the last 6 years as an installation installer at Artisan's Custom Closet. He's been in Georgia for the last 16 years. He is okay with the incident. It's my understanding the incident location is the complaining witness's address, so he's okay with the stay away from that location and with the no contact. He does, however, deny these allegations against him, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I didn't have access to his criminal history. I'm just now hearing some of the cycles. We are asking the court he was asking the court for a signature bond, but if that's not appropriate, we're asking for a bond as low as possible.
Okay. I'm going to order the $5,000 surety bond, $2,000 on the battery, family violence, $1,000 on the criminal trespass, $2,000 on the cruelty. With that 5,000 surety, we're going to order the stay away, which he's okay with. No further contact with the victim. No further contact with the minor victim at this time. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. That should be it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Position 14.
This is 24 CR 0000609. Is this Harisha White?
Yep.
Okay. Charge of 1 count of battery. Pretrial.
11 adult arrests, 2021 robbery conviction, 2019 retail theft, 2017 retail theft conviction.
All right.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on February 2nd, 2024, the officer witnessed the defendant punching the victim in this case being Ortega Rodriguez on the southbound train. The defendant punched the victim repeatedly while on the train. The officer himself observed and witnessed the defendant sleeping in the back of the train, waking up and walking towards the victim, and then randomly beginning to punch him several times. The victim had a laceration on his nose and was transported to the hospital. The recommendation from the state as it relates to this case is a $2,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim. If we could sound for Mr. Rodriguez in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. A stay away from all MARTA at this point, and the completion of an anger management course. And just for the court's edification, that specific MARTA location that this happened at was the North Avenue MARTA station located at 641 West Peachtree Street Northwest in Atlanta, Georgia. And if we could sound for Mr. Rodriguez, that'd be greatly appreciated.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez. Oh. All right, go ahead, Peter McLean. You're still muted. Hmm.
There we go. I think that did it.
Gotcha.
Okay, what was the state's recommendation as to the bond again?
It was a $2,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, stay away from all MARTA, no contact with the victim, Mr. Rodriguez, and the completion of an anger management course.
Understood. Okay. Your Honor, he would like the court to consider a signature bond for the reasons that he is very stable in his address, even though it is a shelter. He's using the gateway system. Evolution House is a part of the gateway system, and he has given a email to me, which I could forward to the court appropriately. He is unemployed at the moment, but is hopefully soon going to get a job as a dishwasher in a restaurant. He's done that before. That will give him a steady income in the neighborhood of $13 an hour or more. And that will enable him to continue to be stable. But he is steadfast in his stability in using the shelter system. Although he is not from Atlanta, he is making it here compared to a lot of folks. And the signature bond, he would definitely keep up with his mail through the Gateway Center, the Evolution House, and not miss his court date.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Mr. Rodriguez. But what I want to also order, Mr. White, is that you stay away from MARTA, all MARTA right now while you're on bond. So you'll have to find other means of transportation, ride shares and things of that nature. Because we want to make sure the person's riding MARTA will be safe. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, guns, while on bond. And that's all I'll order at this point.
Your Honor, he's clear on the MARTA thing. I might mention we had a good discussion, and he knows that he can't even sit on a bench at a bus stop.
Thank you. Very good. All right.
Number 15, Woods.
This is 24 CR 000610. Trevor Woods, charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property, pretrial.
I got first arrest.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on February 2nd, 2024, a video footage showed a man taking a blue and color bicycle with distinct blue wheels valued at $118. Earlier that day, the officer actually went out to a call regarding a missing juvenile. While on that call, the officer spoke with a family member of that missing juvenile. That family member happened to be the defendant. At the time, he was in possession of a blue and color bicycle with blue wheels. The officer later interviewed the defendant, and the defendant himself admitted to knowing that the bike was stolen by a friend of his. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no contact. The victim in this case, if we could sound for them, is Admir Garapolja, Garaplija. And I guess the incident location is inopposite at this time, but if we could sound for Mr. Garapolja at this time, that'd be greatly appreciated. I think our office was able to get in contact with him. No, we were not. I'm sorry.
All right. The victim, in this case, Mr. Garapolja, someone with a similar name on Zoom. Nope. All right. PD McLean.
No objection to the state's recommendation for a signature bond. Mr. Woods, be sure to use the methods that I described to you on how to not miss a court date by following the Fulton Daily Report or following the clerk's office in person at 160 Prior.
All right. I will allow $2,000 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. No further contact with the victim in this case. And guess that's it for now.
Okay, I have the, Mr. Lowry, and he's in the add-on.
Do you have an add-on?
Yes.
It's Bridgewater, you have to read it. I don't have an add-on.
I may have some clarification on this. This particular individual, I believe, was on yesterday's calendar. He was given a bond for theft by conversion, a $2,000 bond, I believe. Someone came and tried to make that bond, and they were told the jail told that person that he also had an additional criminal trespass charge. I didn't have any paperwork while at the jail for the criminal trespass charge, but that's why he's still at the jail.
What is the defendant's name?
His name is Jared Lowry.
Okay, I don't even show that. Hold on, Judge. Let me look again.
Spell that last name, R-I-L-E-Y.
Lowry. Lowry. I'm sorry. First name Jared.
Hey, they're sending him an add-on?
I don't have an add-on. Did you guys get John Alexander?
Hold on. Hold on a second. I'm showing that we don't have an add-on. You said Alexander?
Yeah, you guys, I share his sister friend set from the calendar.
Brandon, did y'all accuse this case?
You guys have that one.
My understanding is it was accused yesterday.
You want to hear?
Let me
For the
double
charge
check.
that we did yesterday?
I do believe so. Let me double check.
I have 4 charges for Jones, Alexander Jones.
He was on the push. See, that's all that. They got him and had him and McDowell for reset on him.
A terroristic threat.
Okay, so we need to go back.
Lowry got a bond yesterday on criminal trespass for $1,000.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Let them know. All right.
Okay.
Because it told us too late to
Is it in the system then? Because maybe, I'm not sure.
Then that must be something dealing with the paperwork, but he was given a bond yesterday on a criminal trespass for $1,000.
Okay.
I don't have that person on today's calendar. However, let me make a note, going back to position number 8. Alexander Jones, it has just been brought to my attention that there is an additional charge. Although we've heard this case, but there is an additional charge that we need to address so
Okay,
that there won't be any problems at the jail. What is that? And that charge is terroristic threats and acts. So before we leave today, we need to address that so it won't be a holdup at the jail.
all right, he was SOB
Yeah,
jail.
he was a $2,500 SOB through the jail. However, we missed a case on the calendar. He has an
Charge.
additional charge, I must say.
Let's talk about 8 real quick while they're looking up on
Okay.
Mr. Lowry.
And that was a terroristic threats and acts.
Your Honor, she is correct. I do see that in the citation. Under remarks, I really can't make out the officer's handwriting. I want to assume that it says advised he would slap himself, which is not really a terroristic threat and act. So we would be asking for a signature on it.
All right, I will add $1,000 signature bond, so it'll be a total of what, 3,500?
Yes. And I will
Signature bond through
change
the
that
jail.
on the original.
Okay,
Now back to the other case you all were talking about. I don't have an add-on and you all are saying something different, so.
Yeah, he did get it. I just looked at my calendar. He got 1,000. Good bond yesterday for trespass.
for one charge, and so they're saying there's additional charge of what?
You gotta ask PD Cook. I'm not sure.
So my notes say that he had a $2,000 bond yesterday for theft by conversion, and that he did not have anything for criminal trespass, which is why he was back on this pool sheet. But I believe pretrial just said he did, or someone said he did have $1,000 criminal trespass.
It's
bond
trespass was on the warrant. Trespass was on the calendar yesterday.
So maybe the theft by conversion was theft by conversion on the calendar?
No, just trespass.
So maybe he's back because he doesn't have a bond on the theft by conversion. Maybe he confused the two.
I'm the one who went up to the jail to pay his bond, and Deputy Francois advised me that he was booked under.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Ma'am, who are you?
My name is Daisha Stinson.
Daisha
Stinson.
STIN.
STINSON.
And who are you to the defendant?
I'm the mother of his child, his girlfriend.
Are you also the victim in this case?
I wouldn't necessarily call myself a victim but yes.
Yes or no? Are you listed on the
Yes.
charges as victim? Okay. So I want you to hold and do not speak right now.
Brandon, was number 12 added by mistake? We didn't do number 12 yesterday?
Let me see. Let me double check the calendar, see what it is. Yeah, they should not have. We did do number 12 yesterday.
Oh, that's what I thought. I remember calling out that issue.
So should number 12 not be on today's docket?
Unless it's a different warrant, but no, it should not.
Okay, I just want to mark my paperwork accordingly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because he got 1,500 good.
Okay.
It's 2 different accusation numbers though.
Uh-oh. Make sure it's the same person.
Yeah, Dave Robinson. Yeah, it's the same because both of the booking numbers match from both of the calendars.
Okay.
One accusation ending 593. Today's ending 607.
He also went to felony court yesterday.
We do have that open stuff. So what we doing right now?
Waiting on the ASGs or who's checking on Jared Lowry for me? So we can clear this up. I certainly will not have the victim to give me the information. Needs to be the jail, ASG, someone.
Poll sheet we received this morning.
Okay.
I'm showing Jared Lowry under one warrant number EW 0416462. And there's a note that says the case, it was reset. So if this was on yesterday, then I'm assuming that's the same warrant.
And what's the charge on that warrant?
Let me see.
Okay.
In my paperwork I received today, I didn't receive paperwork on Lowry, so I'm not able to look up anything.
Yeah.
I'm not showing they're on today's calendar.
They were on the poll sheet, but they're not, their paperwork, I didn't receive paperwork from records this morning for him. But he did get a bond yesterday on something, but whatever the something is, it was in the system wrong because they weren't able to bond him out.
It was
So
trespass.
And I'm looking through the packet of warrants that we received this morning. Let me just make sure. 1 second.
Deputies?
Now, okay, so when I came in, okay, I'm start off with this. Sunday, I was arrested in Clayton County, right? For theft by receipt. They told me that I had a warrant in Atlanta, larceny. So I bonded out of Clayton County, and Atlanta came and got me Thursday. And I was booked in here, and they gave me a bond once I was booked in for theft by conversion, a $2,000 bond. And yesterday when I went to court, the charge was criminal trespass. So I'm not sure if it was some confusion in the paperwork or what, but I had a bond for theft by conversion and everything. They went for $2,000. And criminal trespass was never brought up to me. Nothing. It was just one charge. One charge.
Okay.
It was not my case, but I can almost be certain that the indicia for the theft by conversion and the indicia for the criminal trespass, looking at the accusation, is the same. So maybe the charge was ultimately changed from a charge of conversion, because I do recognize and see that it says that the items were later returned, and so at that point, I think it may morph into a theft by a criminal trespass as opposed to a conversion, if there was never an indicia to keep the items and deprive the owner of the items. So that might be what's happening. He might have had the warrant for theft by conversion, and then it was ultimately accused as a criminal trespass. I'm looking into that further right now.
Okay, and excuse me, Judge and Mr. Pierre Thomas, that's what Mr. Jordan is explaining to me now.
Okay.
That it was maybe a possibility of the theft being just the one charge of criminal trespass.
And Mr. Thomas, do you have the poll sheet packet from yesterday?
Yes, I'm looking at it.
Please, can you pull the warrant and read me that warrant number?
Okay.
Judge, I'm thinking that is the issue, and that since he was not bonded out, that's why he's back on our poll sheet from this morning. So if Mr. Thomas has the warrant number from the pull sheet yesterday, then it will be the same,
It'll be the
if
same.
that makes sense.
Right, right. And then we can clear that up with the jail.
It appears that the warrant, let me just double check this. Prosecutor name. Yes, it appears that the warrant number from yesterday would be EW 0416482. It appears
8-2.
8-2 or 6-2?
6-2. You know, these things scan weird, but yeah, 6-2. I guess as I zoom in on it a little bit more.
That is the warrant that is listed on the pull sheet from this morning. So that is the same warrant. Just it was converted from a theft by conversion to a criminal trespass.
Because
Okay.
he allegedly returned the items.
Yes.
All right. And so there's nothing that I need to do at this time.
No, Your
Deb,
Honor.
or he should be able to get out today.
Is there something that the jail needs to do in their system then to make sure?
With
that-
the understanding that they should be looking at the warrant and not the title of the charge, the warrant number and not the title of the charge, he should be
you
okay.
you give a lot of credit, don't you?
Is there something that we could put on his bond order that says the original charge was theft by conversion? Or
I think that would be helpful for them.
and maybe attach a copy of the accusation? I mean, I'm just trying to think of the best way.
Deputies at the jail, what is it going to take for you all? That's probably just as confusing.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead and put it on the bond order and records will receive a copy and then they can clear it up.
And they can clear it up. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
got it. So regardless, it's still gonna be the $1,000, is it a surety or SOB?
Good.
If he went down, it must be a surety. If somebody
Yeah.
had to go down and pay it for him, yeah.
Okay, surety, okay.
Now, who is this we're talking about?
Jared Lowry,
I'm sorry, Judge, you're muzzled. Are they on today's calendar?
no
No, he's
ma'am.
on the pull sheet though.
Okay, all right, so it's not on my calendar, so I'm assuming it's nothing I need to send over to the jail, or is there?
Yes, we do.
I
need
guess
to
a new bond order.
Yes,
Revised bond order.
Ms. Bridgewater.
Okay, so
new
can
bond.
someone put the information in the chat so that I could do a new bond order?
Yes, I'll
Ed
put
has
his,
been
yes,
sending
yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll do that right
And
now.
the bond amount was 1,000. What I had. Yeah.
Can we move along to the interpreter case?
Yes. What position?
Position number 11.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, raise your right hand for me.
Yes, sure.
Do you affirm that you will interpret from Spanish to English, English to Spanish, the proceedings before the court in an accurate manner with the best of your skill, to the best of your skill and knowledge with no embellishment?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is 24 CR 0000606. Alexander Ramirez Soto, charge of 1 count of simple battery, family violence.
Este es el caso 24CR000606, Alexander Ramiro Soto, con un cargo de golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar.
All right, pretrial.
Los servicios previos al juicio.
Third arrest, 2011 assault conviction. That's all.
Alright.
3 arrestos con una sentencia en el 2011.
3-sentence facts of the case, Your Honors. On February 1st, 2024, the defendant struck the victim, his girlfriend, in the face with a closed fist.
También otra en febrero del 2024, en que el acusado golpeó a su novia con un puño cerrado.
The victim did not sustain any visible marks during the altercation.
Corrigiendo a la víctima, no a la novia. También ella quedó con marcas debido al altercado.
Hold on 1 second. If you're not speaking and have not been called on to speak, please mute yourselves. Cannot be unmuted while the court is proceeding. I see Laura, someone, and Danny. Please mute yourselves. You're not been allowed to unmute the call. Thank you. Laura, can you all mute her, please?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. Last sentence is that they both reside together at the incident location.
Los dos viven juntos en el lugar del incidente.
Recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away.
Lo que se recomienda es una fianza bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
No contact with the victim and the completion of a family violence intervention program.
No tener contacto con la víctima y registrarse en un programa de intervención en la familia.
That incident location is 2137 Ben Hill Road, East Point.
El domicilio, la dirección es del 2137 Ben Hill Road en East Point, en donde ocurrió el incidente.
And the stay away is, I'm sorry, the no contact is requested for the victim, Laura Luncor, Luncor. And if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law as she's on the call.
Laura, did you say L-A-U?
It looks like Luncor.
Laura Luncor.
Yes, she's on the Zoom. we normally don't allow persons with tank tops to come on Zoom. I'm trying to determine whether I need her to go put a jacket or a shirt on.
Laura, ¿habla español? Prenda su micrófono.
She's muted.
Can you ask her,
Yes.
Ms. Chancey, to do that? Thank you.
Aló. Buenas tardes, señora Laura. No se permite en un tribunal estar sin mangas. ¿Podría ponerse algo para cubrirse? Gracias.
Sí, no se preocupe.
Muchas gracias.
I think this is Soto. Okay, it is Soto. But
Holly,
You're missing something?
you're not muted.
I guess
Miss
it's
Holly? Okay, thank you.
She's covered, Your Honor.
All right,
Okay.
she can mute herself again. We're still,
Ok, un momentito más. Puede apagar su micrófono. Ya regresamos con usted.
Okay.
Gracias.
I'm done, Your Honor. I was sounding for
all right, now we're ready for her. I wasn't for sure if you were done. I apologize.
Thank you, though.
Hey, Ms. Chancey, you can ask her to now unmute herself and I'll swear her in. She wishes to address the court.
Ok, señora Laura, prenda su teléfono de nuevo.
Okay.
¿Desea usted decirle algo a la jueza?
Sí, explicarle que esta fue una situación de discusión, más no pelea. O sea, no pude explicarme con los policías porque
Okay.
no hablo inglés. Entonces,
Un momento. I would I want you to explain the judge that this was a matter of verbal discussion, not a fight. And I couldn't explain that to the police because I don't speak the language. Go ahead. Siga,
And
señora.
I wanted to swear her in first, but I need to swear her in first before she speaks.
Ok. Por favor, puede levantar su mano derecha para que la juramente.
Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
¿Usted jura que la declaración que dará será la verdad y solo la verdad bajo pena de perjurio?
Sí.
Yes, I do.
And what would you like to tell the court?
¿Y qué le entonces gustaría decirle a la jueza?
Que yo con él no tenemos peleas, no tenemos discusiones, no tendría por qué separarme de él o ponernos una orden de prohibición. Tenemos 3 niños.
Okay. Un momento. I just want to say that I don't have fights with him or arguments, and so there is no reason to have no contact order. We have 3 children together. ¿Algo más?
Yo no le tengo miedo a él, o sea, no es algo, él no es peligroso para mí ni para mis hijos.
I'm not afraid of him. He is not dangerous for me or my children.
Okay.
¿Algo más?
Esto que pasó, pienso yo que fue mi culpa, fui yo la que estaba fuera de control. Y lo que pasó con él ni siquiera fue que me dio un puño, sino que cuando él levantó los brazos, me golpeé en su codo de él, en la parte de aquí de él.
And actually, this event that happened, it was my fault. He did not hit me. When he lifted up his arm, he hit me with the elbow. I hit myself with his elbow, this part here.
Okay.
Yo le tiré una pantufla a él y él a la hora que se quiso tapar la cara para que no le caiga la pantufla, yo me golpeé en su codo.
I threw a slipper shoe to him, and when he raised his hands to cover his face, I hit myself with his elbow.
All right, this is not the trial, this is a bond hearing.
Este no es un juicio, es una audiencia de fianza.
Sí, solamente quería explicarle qué es lo que había pasado porque no tenemos nosotros una violencia familiar, como quien dice, o sea, tenemos discusiones, pero nunca llegamos a las manos o a pelear.
I wanted to explain this because really there is no family violence here. We just had an argument.
Okay. All right, Mr. McLean, C.D. McLean.
Señora McLean?
Can't hear you. Oh, I think
you're on mute, Mr. McLean.
Mike, you're muted.
There we go. Thank you. I have a suspicion that because I am near my car's electronics, even though I turned the engine off, that it's giving me safe driving mode, and only the court can unmute me that way.
All right.
Anyway,
okay. Go ahead, sir.
From what I've heard and from what's in the police report, I'm thinking that a full-blown 24-week family violence intervention program would not be appropriate as a bond condition. Something less, perhaps like an anger awareness session would not sound odd.
De acuerdo a lo que he escuchado y al informe policial, creo que la recomendación de la fiscalía no sería algo apropiado, quizás algo menor como una clase de manejo de la ira o cosas así.
So I do agree that a signature bond would be appropriate.
Yo estoy de acuerdo que una fianza bajo firma sería apropiada.
I might mention factors. He has a job, and we've contacted them, and they're supportive of him.
También quería expresar algunos factores que existen. Él tiene trabajo, los contactamos y están brindándole apoyo a él.
And that's all.
Eso es todo.
All right. I will order a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial.
¿Sí? Impongo una fianza de $2,500 bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio.
Take a one-day anger awareness course.
Y una clase de concientización de la ira.
No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Se prohíbe el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté libre bajo fianza.
And I guess pretrial he can be level 1.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Pretrial level 1.
Y él estará registrado por los servicios previos al juicio en un nivel 1.
No further violent contact with the victim.
Queda prohibido el contacto violento con la víctima.
And I guess that's all I ordered at this time.
Y eso creo que es lo que ordenaré por ahora.
All right. Anything else, counsel?
¿Algo más?
All right. Thank you. That'll conclude this case.
Ok, esto concluye el caso.
Gracias.
Thank you.
I have an announcement, position number 13, posted bond. And this will conclude courtroom number 2. May we be excused.
Thank you very much.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
we
have
got,
another.
what about 9 and 10?
They're at ACDC. We were waiting for someone to log on.
Oh.
Oh, who is 13?
That's Connor Shaw.
No,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, position number 13 is the one that funded out.
Right. He just another name. So we're still waiting on ACDC.
Yes, ma'am. For position number 9 and 10.
Gotcha.
All right.
Blunt, don't go far.
I won't.
Excuse me, Your Honor, may the interpreter be dismissed?
Oh, yes, you may. Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Mincy, I believe they are on the iPhone. Their video was just on, then it went away.
Okay, thank you. She believe they're on it.
Oh, I guess they don't have nothing to do.
I guess not.
ACDC Fulton County. Mingle Dog.
Which one?
We also have a McDowell too. You're ready?
Yes, let me get the state back in.
We did try to see McDowell at ACDC, and he was brought out. Somebody else, last name whatever, was brought out, and by the time that got straightened out, we were there like 20 minutes and never saw McDowell.
So you need a breakout room with her?
We do need a breakout room now, correct?
Are we able to do that, Melissa?
He would have to be the last one because Mr. McLean, do you have, well, they're on an iPhone as well, Judge, so that case
Oh,
would
yeah,
have to
I
be,
forgot.
yes, see, yeah. So we're unable to do it that way.
I see.
Oh.
Also, Ms. Cook, do you have the paperwork on McDowell?
I can pull it up.
Okay.
So Judge, this number 10 sitting in the chair.
This is Mingledorf.
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 Correct.
Okay, let's do her first. Case number 24CR000605, Ashton Mingledorf, charge of 1 count of simple battery family violence.
I got first arrest.
Okay.
Brief facts of the case, Your Honor. Let me pull it up. I just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on not January, February 1st, 2024, an officer responded to the incident location, that being 2020 Peachtree Road, Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia, in reference to a dispute call. The officer met with the victim being Sammy Yassin, S-A-M-I, Yassin, S-A-S-S-I-N, who advised that his wife, the defendant, hit him in the face and pulled his hair and threw a bottle of water at him. The witness, Miss Sonia, corroborated the victim's story. Given the limited criminal history and the nature of the case, Your Honor, the recommendation is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, and the completion of an anger management course. And if we could sound for Mr. Yassin in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
All right, Mr. Yassin. Nope. All right, PD Cook. PD McLean. I'm sorry, McLean.
No objection. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order Ms. Mingledorf that you have no further contact with Mr. Yassin right now. You're to stay away from, well, I don't know, 2020 Peachtree is the incident location, but not her
Excuse
home.
me. We have a baby together. So, how would that go?
I can tell you, must be third party. Must be third party transfer if you have visitation.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. So I will order that if visitation is allowed, that must be done by a third party. And that person can do the exchange, not you, because you'll be violating your bond if you go around them. But right now, there's no further contact. and make sure everything is cooled down, that there will be no more incidents, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge, what's the fine amount?
2,500 SOB jail.
And did we do a stay away?
I was going to say stay away from the home address. I don't know what that is. Where were you and Mr. Yasin residing, Ms. Mingledahl?
He stays at 5673 Chris Street.
Start over.
5673 Chris, CHRYS Street, Powder Springs, Georgia, 30060.
Thank you.
All right. So you ordered to have a stay away from that address. I guess the Peachtree Road was just where the incident occurred, correct?
Yeah, it's a hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a hospital. Okay. All right. I think that is it for this case.
Yana, before I go in the breakout room for the other case, does the state have a recommendation on McDowell?
I don't think you're going in a breakout. We can't do it because they're on an iPhone.
Oh, we're not? Okay.
We're taking it last and we'll stop the recording.
Yeah, I'll let you know the recommendation though.
We'll all close down and not listen to you. It's kind of strange. We can't.
It's a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact, stay away, and anger management.
And do you have that? Do you have that address, Miss Bridgewater?
No, I think Ms. Powell just went to try to get some information for me. But if you want to put it in the chat, that would expedite time. We're still working, trying to get stuff together on this end. So if you all don't mind, if you put it in the chat.
Who y'all talking about?
The address for stay away on 9.
On number 9.
So the state's offered a signature bond through pretrial.
So where is number 9?
That her up there with iPhone, or they're going to her?
They're ACDC. Yeah, they're probably going to get her.
But they have not had a chance to talk to their client, Mr. Howard.
Okay.
And because they're on an iPhone, I believe they cannot put them in a breakout room. So we were trying to short.
Do y'all want McDowell at this time or not yet?
Yes, please.
Yes, we do.
Okay, she's in the mental health unit, so we're gonna go to her door if that's okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute.
Going back. I think you could have done
Mr. Thomas, is this 3300 Lennox Road the address for position number 9, the stay away?
Yeah, she basically, I don't know if you want, but yeah, she stay away from Linux, basically. That's Linux Square. It's just a stranger-based crime, not a
Okay, no problem. Do you have the victim's name? Because I don't have any information. Do you have her name, the
Oh,
victim?
absolutely. I'll put it in the box.
Hey,
And it's
McDowell. Okay, the courts want to speak with you. Would you like to speak with them?
I'm Alyssa Alana Rogers. This is a full report, and I want to report that Lisa Ray or somebody out of Players Club.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna do a waiver. So I guess you maybe don't have permission for that, but I don't know. Interesting.
Mr. McClain, are you still at ACDC? Are you in the parking lot?
Yes, I'm across the street from it.
We may be able to if he can go back in and get that done, Your Honor.
Okay, and I asked for someone named what now?
waiver.
Oh, Jolie McDowell.
I understand.
Sorry, Miss Cook, it's Saturday.
It's Jolie, Joli, last name McDowell.
I've got to turn off the phone to go in there because they won't allow a phone in there. Despite our computer problems, I begged. I'll turn the phone and get back.
Only get better with time, okay?
Okay.
If you could, and it sounds like we're going to possibly need an MH eval if she doesn't already have.
Do we have any family contact numbers?
I believe you have the paperwork. I don't know if there's anything in the paperwork, but I do have a question. It looks like they charge this as battery family violence. Is this just a regular battery?
I was going to say, because I thought, yeah, Mr. Thomas said that it was not.
Mr. Pierre Thomas,
Let me look at him. I'm sorry.
and when you finish, Mr. Thomas, I have a question for you as well.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, did you all need to speak with her, McDowell?
Can she?
I'm gonna dip into the building itself. I'm gonna turn my phone off.
Okay.
I'm gonna report back in
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, can I address you right quick while he's doing that?
Yes.
I don't have information on position number 15, Trevor Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the victim in that case?
All right, one moment. The victim in that case is going to be Admir, Admir, Dara Plija, whatever, Garaplija.
G-A-R-A.
Plija.
Thank you.
Judge, can you
Yes.
respond to the officer with the iPhone?
Respond. Did she say something? I'm sorry.
She sent a question in the chat.
Oh, let me see. This is to everyone. Hold on. How do I reply? What?
What you trying to do?
Reply.
Just tell over this mic.
You can hear me?
Yes, she can.
Oh, all right. Well, Mr. McLean is coming back in to get a waiver from her. She mentioned something a little strange that caused us to believe maybe she could not participate in this hearing. And he was going back in to get a waiver.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
How long is it going to take for him to get up there? Because he had to leave his phone in the car, go in there, and then come back.
I believe the issue is that he went in earlier, but they brought the wrong person to him. Normally at ACDC, honestly, they're a whole lot quicker than Rice Street.
A lot quicker, yeah.
Mhm.
Smaller.
He actually came to see her, but she denied him. When she walked to the door and he called her McDowell Jolie, she said, "That ain't my name," and she walked off from him.
Well, that was true.
Okay.
That's not her name. I think he got it mixed up. But let's see if they can make up a little bit now and see what we can do.
So update on position number 9. I just double checked the accusation that we submitted or that I did and submitted. It did not say family violence. It was pure battery. They're strangers.
Okay.
Okay. I'll delete the family violence.
I don't know if this is an appropriate question while we're still recording, but there were some people who were NOD yesterday who were still on this sheet and we're still in custody. Is there, I mean, the way we
think-
check is through Odyssey. Is there a way we can verify that they get out?
I sent 4 NODs this morning to the jail. The ones that I sent over and I got acknowledgements from the jail. Let me pull up my sheet really quick. A jury who was number 1 on the pull sheet. Hunt Sears is solely a felony warrant, so I emailed them to put that on felony first appearance. Stevens is an NOD, and the jail acknowledged that. Turpin was an NOD, and the jail acknowledged that one. Williams was an NOD, and that was acknowledged by the jail. And then Wolf was solely a felony warrant, so I emailed that over to be placed on felony first appearance.
And FYI, Ms. Cook, none of these people appeared on the calendar today.
Yes, ma'am. I know when we were at the jail, specifically really just one person I was talking about. He was on the calendar yesterday and back on this sheet today and still physically at the jail.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Miss Riley acknowledged from the jail, and let me see who else. And Mr. Wilburn.
Okay, I will relay that information to Ms. J. Kim. She was just concerned about how we verify.
And I think I'm pretty sure I CC'd Miss Kim on the email
Okay.
with the NOD forms.
Would
And also
anybody
while
like to
we
go over
wait-
the calendar?
I was just about to suggest that. Would you all like to go over the calendar as we wait?
Yes, I guess PD Cook
Yes,
can
you can do
relay
that.
to Mr. McLean.
Brandon, what were you about to say?
Upon further checking, there is a typo on the accusation, and so I'm going to correct it and send it.
On which, what?
It does have family violence at the top, but in the language of the paragraph, it doesn't have family violence. It says pure just battery. But I'm going to correct that and resend it.
On this case, position 9.
Okay, well, I've already marked it on the calendar, so
Thank you.
I'll be a mix-up over there. Okay, so are we in agreement to go over the calendar as we wait?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, let's do this then. Once again, the SAP reset date is February the 15th. Position number 1 is being reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 2, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 3, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $4,000 good bond. 5, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 6 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $5,000 good bond. 8 is being reset further notice with a total $3,500 SOB through the jail. And then we did add terroristic threats to this young man. 9, we're waiting on. 10 is reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 11, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through pretrial. Number 12, we're marking is not on docket. 13 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 14, reset further notice with a $3,500 SOB through the jail. And 15, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Are we all on one accord on this here, or are there any corrections or whatever?
One accord, I think.
All right, so we're just waiting on Mr. McLean to come back on position number 9.
You get that pretrial?
Yes.
Don't sound so excited.
Doing my stats.
Oh.
Time to play with
Hey, question, do we still need position 9 to appear on Zoom?
Mr. P.D. McLean is coming in to speak, or I believe, to get a waiver.
Okay, proceed.
Bridgewater, when you said position, let me see what it was. Hold on. Position 12. When you said not on docket,
Yes, ma'am. I
Did we-
show it it's not on docket.
like the NOD form was sent to the jail?
No, she means well, it was on yesterday's calendar with a 1,500 good bond. So she just probably means not on the calendar for today.
And maybe that's what I should have said. It's not on today's calendar.
Yeah, it's
According
not
to
in
my
your-
paperwork, I mark it as not on docket.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure.
No problem. Thank you, Judge, for helping me clear that up.
That was
Tomatoes,
Mr. McLean. It may take, he ran back to the car because he had a question, and now he's going back into ACDC, so.
Oh, Lord, he's getting a workout today. No,
What's Monday? 2-4, 2-5.
yeah,
All right,
5.
2-5.
Yeah. Everybody
All right,
hear me?
Judge.
Let's reset it to 2-5. He's probably having a time.
Okay.
Okay, so position number 9 is reset to February the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I think
All
that takes care of today's calendar.
All right, did you hear that, State? Miss CD Cook, you may have to go get him.
I'll let them know.
Yeah, we
Okay.
heard that. Oh, I heard it.
All right, go ahead and have a good rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you,
too.
Judge.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.